Hi guys, so it's time for a FAQ from Instagram. I got a few questions from Instagram and let's go. So there are 4 of them and I will add the links to the shortcuts for the time when it starts. Okay, one question at a time. So, how much protein do we need? Well, it's very simple, you don't have to worry about it basically. So women need about 46 grams of protein per day and men 56. It's very easy to get enough. To do so, all you have to do is eat enough calories. So eat enough potatoes, bananas, rice, I don't know what else, any plants. As long as you get enough calories, protein will be taken care of. So no worries about that. I never worry about protein and I get muscle very easily. And the noise that you're hearing is all the cyclists on the bike path. Okay, so if you're not reassured, I know, look at all the vegan muscle hashtags on social media and you'll find plenty of vegans that don't struggle with protein. And the biggest ones take steroids, which means it's the hormones, it's the effort, the physical effort that builds protein, because the body finds protein so easily in the body. We recycle about 200 grams of protein per day from our own bodies. Just recycling. It's too easy. Protein is a problem only for the meat lobbies, the protein lobby. They got that myth into people's heads. But we should worry about getting enough carbs each day. That's the most important thing. Carbs are the most important nutrients, and water as well. The rest is too easy. Okay, next question. What happens to excess carbs, calories? Thank you for all these interesting questions. I'm very glad to answer them here. Because I've been on this high-carb low-fat diet for 13 years, so since 2010, and I've done some mistakes at the beginning and I've learned, and I'm sharing with you all the information that I would have liked to find back in the days. So, excess carbs. What happens to them if they don't make you fat? What happens? So when people get fat because they eat too much, it's because they eat too much protein and too much fat. Even from wheat products or from beans, you can get excess protein and excess fat, and that's what can make people a bit bigger. But if you eat excess carbs, let's say from fruit syrup, from pears, from bananas, from dates, from rice, it's going to be very hard to overeat for starters. And if you do overeat, the protein and the fat totals will be so low anyway, so you don't have to worry. So let's say you eat too many bananas with added sugar. What happens? Well, first, your glycogen reserves are going to be filled to the top, and the glycogen reserves are in the muscles and in the liver. And these glycogen reserves get lower and lower as the day goes by. Every time you do nothing, or you sit, or you ride your bike, or you think, your glycogen reserves slowly go down. And it's hard to get them full, to keep them full all the time, but if you're trained like me, it's not too hard. And anyway, I also happen to get my reserves too full and they overflow, let's say. And then what happens in that case? Well, you can have a thermogenesis, which means the body makes heat from the excess carbs. That it just wastes the excess carbs. The body doesn't like to convert the excess carbs, so you prefer to waste them as a thermogenesis, to make heat, as flies. And that's why you can feel a bit warmer after eating a lot of rice or this kind of thing. But let's say you eat too much sorbet, it's unlikely that you're going to feel too warm, because there's so much cold, cold transfer from the ice cream. Some people have told me that there's no thermogenesis because when I eat too much sorbet, I don't feel too warm. These people crack me up with that dishonesty. And there's another way that the carbs can get wasted by the body. It's the body can excrete the excess carbs in the urines or even in the sweat. When I eat the most fruit and with added sugar and all of that, my skin smells of fruit. I know it's sweet sometimes. Like, it's not syrupy, okay? But the body likes to waste the carbs away because it knows that it's going to receive plenty of them. If you're not in starvation mode, the body has no reason to convert them to fat, you know. Okay, and let's say your body has a full tanks of glycogen reserve, like super full, and it's already doing thermogenesis and excreting carbs in the urines or in the sweat. If you really go over that, in theory, your body can transform some carbs into fat, but that chemical reaction is so ineffective. First, it doesn't happen often, and then there's a 30% loss in the yield, so you don't have to worry about that. What makes you actually fat is the excess fat, because any excess fat is going to be stored directly into fat reserves. And the percentage of loss in that reaction is about 3%. So it's a very efficient reaction, and that's why you have to be careful not to eat fatty foods if you struggle with weight loss, with fat loss. Recently there was a vegan week at Lidl shop, and I was very reasonable with the things I ate. That was a bit greasy, but even with these small additions of fatty products, I still gain a bit of fat. I can see it. Okay, now I'm careful, I'm not adding any fatty food, because I can store fat very easily, guys. You have no idea. And that's why I'm so strict, because if I don't watch the fats, I get fat. And if you don't know how many grams of fat and protein and carbs you have, I think it's a good idea to start using chronometer and count everything and see what you're actually eating. Because if you're struggling with weight loss, I can bet that you're eating too much fat and too much protein, most likely. But it's mostly the fat. It's not the lack of exercise, really, it's the excess fat that you should be careful with. Okay, I hope you're reassured now. Third question, I feel sleepy after eating a lot of carbs. Why? First, are you actually tired? Because if you're tired from a day of work, or if you have exercised, these kind of things, if you need some rest, then there's no wonder why you feel sleepy after eating some cooked food. I mean, cooked food are not bad. If you eat rice or potatoes or this kind of thing, it's fine. You can keep on doing that. Because when you digest complex carbs, the body needs to do a bit of work to break down these complex carbs into simple carbs. So nothing to worry about. And that's why I prefer to eat the complex carbs at dinner, because after dinner I don't need to be productive anymore. I can chill, on my chair or in my bed, and it's not a problem. And a second reason why you feel sleepy after eating complex carbs, because you say a lot of carbs, so I assume it's complex carbs, like maybe a lot of pasta, a lot of rice, I don't know, you haven't specified. In that case, maybe you're dehydrated, because dehydration makes you feel sleepy. So what you should do in that case is drink, I don't know, half a liter or a full liter of water before a cooked starch meal, like maybe 15 minutes before, something like that. And try that and let me know how you feel after that. It should help you a lot. So when you say a lot of carbs, I assumed it was cooked starches. But if you mean, I don't know, fries, French fries, the greasy fries, when you say a lot of carbs, then that's excess fat actually. And fat is harder to digest, and it makes people tired. They need a nap if they eat too much of it, and that's it. So high fat foods and high protein foods are harder for the human body to digest, and it takes more energy that is going to the digestive system, to the digestive process, and that is unavailable for the brain or the rest of the body. So I think I answered well. And last question now, how to give up processed vegan foods? They taste better than fruits. I understand what you mean, but there's hope, because your taste buds can adapt to a new diet in I don't know, 3 weeks maybe. It depends on the people. Okay, at the beginning it takes some discipline to change your diet, but then your taste buds adapt and they don't crave the old stuff anymore, or they crave it less. So that's probably the problem. I don't know if you have tried the raw till 4 pattern. And that's okay. A second advice, maybe a practical advice, would be to stop having this processed greasy vegan foods at home, like I don't know, vegan cheese or this oily tofu, what else, peanut butter, I don't know what you crave, or these vegan ice creams, all this greasy stuff. It's better not to have them at home. And when you shop, you should have a full belly when you go shopping, because then it's easier to make the right choices in the shop, and then once you're at home, you're in your safe place where you can pick any food and it's fine. You don't have to have discipline 100% because the food that you have at home is already the right kind. You know what I mean? Well, that's what I do. And with Paul at home, he likes some more fatty foods. I mean, nothing too crazy, but there's still some stuff that I should not have in my diet that he eats, and that is in our pantry. So how do I resist to that? A good way to resist it is to make your own meal plan every morning, for example, or before going to bed on the previous day. So I say, today I'm going to eat this and that and that, and he can eat his own stuff. I won't crave it. And also, as soon as I feel hungry, I eat my high carb, low fat, very low fat food, and then I don't crave his stuff anymore. So it's much easier this way because I can smell what he's cooking. I know it smells good, it tastes good. Well, I don't like everything he cooks that is higher fat, but some of them I like them and I need to resist them, otherwise I get fat, I get fat very easily, as I told you earlier. Because it's processed doesn't mean it's bad. If it's very low fat, then it's fine if it's processed. If it's refined sugar, it's fine, as long as you don't associate it with, I don't know, oil or cream or whatever. If you add the sugar in your fruit, it's fine. It's low fat, and then your insulin is going to work well. If you add a syrup with water, it's fine too. It's super low fat. There's actually no fat in it. If you add sugar in your tomato sauce, it's fine too. If you add sugar on your sweet potato, it's fine. Sugar on rice, it's fine. Jam on rice, it's fine too. So I think you have to make peace with the processed foods that are high carb, low fat, because they will help you to stay high carb, low fat. That's very important, because I'm sure you have seen lots of influencers that are no longer vegan or no longer high carb, low fat. It's because they fear the processed foods. They fear sugar. They fear the processed carbs, like white rice or pasta or rice noodles or white bread. White bread is so useful on long rides. It gives strong fuel, and I wouldn't take it off my diet completely unless I was sensitive to gluten. Anyway, so I think I answered your question fully, and that's it for today. I'm going to go back on my bike and enjoy like 2 hours of ride. And this jersey, I just tapped a fruit jersey online and found something. So it's cool to have some fruit there. So I see you around. I'll make more videos. Just keep on asking questions, and if I find one that's worth developing in a video, I will take it. Okay, so I wish you a great day ahead. See you soon.